Kevin Durant rising to the challenge, though, last night in Game 3, dropping 38. Man, Scottie, not only were you at the game, I just got to point out, Scottie got a lot of love when he was put up on the Jumbotron in the building. City he didn't even play in, everybody going crazy over him. But you were applauding KD. Do you think he can hold this for the rest of the series or go back into a little bit of like, we're going to beat these guys and not be as aggressive?
Well, he could do one or the other, but I think we're going to see the KD that came out last night because he realizes that if he don't play this way, then his team is going to struggle a little bit, if you want to call it a struggle, giving up a 31-point lead. But he has to be effective. And as we saw the game last night, I mean, he's unstoppable. If he catches the ball in his sweet spot, there's no one in the building that can stop him. And that's what he did last night. It's not about him putting the basketball on the floor, but just getting to your spots. He was beating them early in transition. And, you know, we talk about Patrick Beverley, but, you know, we really insulted KD by kind of putting that matchup at a high level. But because KD is the best offensive player in the game in terms of just shooting over whoever. And it was one of those nights where he displayed it.
Scottie hit the nail on the head. When you insult Kevin, or Kevin feels insulted, and he feels like he needs some extra motivation, good night.
Yeah.
See you later. It's over. He is the best player that there is when he puts his mind to, all right, I'm going to dominate and impose anything I need to on this game to get my team over the hump. And it was clear in the last couple days, the coaching staff, the players, everybody, he got the message, hey, we need you. DeMarcus Cousins is out. We need you to do a little bit more offensively. But when Kevin feels slighted by media, by players in the league, by the coaches sometimes, that's when he plays at his best because it's a reminder to everybody else, I'm Kevin Durant, I'm the man, and you can't stop me.
So you're almost saying, Nick, that drama is good for Kevin Durant. It's funny you should mention that because we've been following the drama of this TV all season. Oh, yes, our show within a show. No, it's not Salem. It's Oakland. And like sands through the hourglass, so are the bays of our lives. Oh, yes, we have chronicled the Warriors' drama. But what are you hearing about issues surrounding this team as opposed to what we here on the outside keep seeing?
I just talked to Andre Iguodala about this a few days ago. And I said, Andre, is it any different this year with all the drama than it was last season or the year before? And he just started laughing. He's like, nope. The only difference is there's more scrutiny because there is so much more attention on what we're doing because so few teams have been able to do what they're trying to accomplish this season. But he said, no. He said, everybody thinks that all hell's breaking loose inside and that everything's coming to an end. Guys, I don't think people out there understand. The players and coaches have known all season that Kevin may leave. They may win another title. He may be the Finals MVP for the third straight year, and he may leave. They came to grips with it long ago. Kevin, it drives him nuts when people try to jump into his mind and try to figure out what makes him happy and where he's going to go next. He wants the focus to be on the game. Understand. But the players, his teammates and coaches, they're not sitting there going, oh, no, we might not win Game 4 because we're not sure where Kevin's going to go in 2 months. It's not as big of an issue internally inside that locker room as everybody wants it to be.
Buy it?
I mean, I think Kevin Durant should be the happiest player in the NBA. I mean, he has a chance to play in his third NBA Finals, an opportunity to become only one of 3 players to win 3 Finals MVPs. So there's nothing that I see in the forecast that makes this man unhappy being in Golden State. Like, why are we thinking he's going to leave when he's writing record books?
Yeah, I mean,
and when you say something to insult him, he raises the bar.
I agree with you. I mean, I sat on the set earlier this week and said, you know, it's going to be a, quote, upset if he stays, which is crazy because he's playing for such a good team with great teammates and a great organization. I will, to quote our friend Jackie McMullen, I'm calling shenanigans a little bit on Andre Iguodala there because if the players didn't care about it, we would not have seen a fight on the bench between Draymond and Kevin.
From that moment in time.
Are we moving the goal line here?
Everybody kind of went, okay, you know what? Draymond put it out there.
Right.
And now we kind of have to close ranks. And it's not to say they hadn't bubbled up at various points throughout, but they know they're playing for history. And that's why I think the key is no matter what happens this summer, in this moment with what they've got going on and what's at stake, I believe the focus is going to be there because they know with so few teams have been able to accomplish what they're trying to do. And Scottie, to your point, that is absolutely their pitch in July.
Well, it's funny because in the
it.
break we were talking about Scottie's old Bulls team, so of course went through this repetitiveness of trying to repeat and three-peat. And Scottie, I remember covering that '98 season, and there was a bunch of media attention on, oh my gosh, Dennis Rodman's going to Vegas. Oh my gosh, Michael Jordan's playing golf. And what were you guys saying internally? You weren't buying into all that.
No, we weren't, but because we, as players, everybody live their own life. They go in separate ways, and they do their own thing off the basketball court. But really what is really all about is what you do between the lines.
Right.
That's it. You know, I played with Dennis Rodman. Dennis would practice one day, jump on a plane, go to Vegas, maybe skip the next day of practice. But it was a little frustrating for us as players, but that wasn't our job to try and police that.
Right.
It was our job as players to police what goes on that basketball court. And that's really what we were concerned about. It wasn't about the off-court stuff. It wasn't about the distractions. It was about what you did to this team when it came time to play.
Yeah, that I buy. That one, there's no shenanigans.
And you know why they're hanging on with all this, though, with Kevin, no matter what happens? Because when he hits the white lines,
yes,
and it's time to dominate,
he does what he did last night.
He does exactly what he did in Game 3.